Hi guys, this is a tutorial for goattracker. I've just been setting a few things up and I'll try and explain some things as I go. Now this is your subtune, so you can make like multiple tracks, right? So you right click to go down, left click to go up. I like to keep subtune 0 empty and never use pattern 0, so I put it into each channel and just leave that as a blank tune with the 3 zeros there. It just means that if you want your SID to keep ticking and you just want silence, you can then switch it to track 0, and it's quite handy. So subtune 1 is going to be my song, and all I've done is just set up a little basic instrument here. And you see what I was just doing there was just switching the gate on. It just means it's going to use the waveform sort of gates, as they call it, and and then I switch them off here, so you hear this sound. Alright, and see, it's gone to this part. Now if you want it just to play the pattern, just press F3, that way it will stay in there. Right, so all I'm doing is just set up this instrument, playing with some attack value. The decay value is how long it keeps the post attack sort of amount for how long. Then the release, how long does it release for, and sustain just means it stays on after that, so you can have a sound. For a long time. Right, it will release eventually, but it's just a long sustain, right? So go for something like that. Right, so 2-1 is the I think it's the sawtooth. 1-1 is the sine. Right, and you can see this has been told to go to wavetable 1. Right, so this is where it's starting to read the instruments. And if I do an insert there and change this to like 8-1, that's noise. You don't hear anything right away because this automatically shifted. It knew that it was there and it shifted down. I don't like that feature, but it does it, right? It's in order to keep everything from like other instruments not getting upset, so everything has to move. But anyway, it is what it is. So you can hear a little bit of that. Now you can play with the attack. It's very sensitive, so you get different sounds depending what numbers you put in here. Right, so that's really that. It basically sets up your attack, decay, sustain, release, and it feeds into this table here. When it hits an FF, it basically says, right, cut off the note. There's vibrato as well that you can add, so you can do 01 in here. Just means it looks at this table, and the delay is just how long before it kicks in. I usually do 01, 01 like that. And then you can put in just random numbers in here. Let's start with like 222, and then right. And a better way to test it is just to I'll just get rid of, just to delete, and I'll just get rid of all the other notes there, and I'll just do one every, like that. Copy them, so shift and up to highlight, and then Control C, Control V. Right. Right. So you just hear that one sound. I can do a bit of a delay. The delay can be quite high. Right, so you can go all the way up there. I'll put in 11. and I'm going to make this really. You notice the left side is the speed, and the right side is the amplitude. Right, and then what I'll do is I'm going to put in a C in here. So it basically just ups the note briefly, and same in here I can put in high note. Now anything above I think it's 80 or 90 is a fixed note. There's a table all about fixed notes. There's a good cheat sheet as well about goattracker. Right. That I'm gonna. Right, that's a good sound. It's more of a bassy sound, so I'll do F4 and I can start to make something up. So I'm just thinking. Right, I'll just copy that little riff. What you can do is you can highlight, and then you can do, I think it's Shift and A, yeah, to go down notes. So let's just listen to that. Do Shift and Q, go up the way. So the other thing you can do is actually switch the chip to 8580 to see if it sounds different. You can do that while it plays. Right, the sound is subtly different, depends on what you're doing, especially filters. 8580 is a bit stronger with the filters, a lot stronger with the filters. 6581 is just a bit more, well, different. Hard to describe until you start making something. So that is basically pattern 1, and you can see it's only been used there. There's nothing in 2 and 3, and if we played the music with F1, it's going to do that. Nothing in these. Once it's done, it's going to go there. Right, there's nothing in 4, 5, 6. So I will stop that, and then if I just click there and do Shift and Enter, it's not only going to take me to pattern 4, but you can see it's also 4, 5, 6. It's everything that's in that pattern. And what else I can do is if I go here and do Shift and Space and F3, it's only going to play this pattern. So it's kind of handy for testing, right? So F3 and F4 now is how it would work. So you can make something up, I don't know, but we'll just do something completely unmatching, right? Right, I don't know, just muck about. And F3. I love that it feels so empty when it's just one voice, you know, but you can, you know, we can start to put in other stuff. So let's go up an octave, so you can actually just click here and it'll go up to octave 3. Right, just random stuff. Now it's going to play 4 and 5, so I'll press F3 because I just want to stay locked into this. Masterpiece, right? It's literally one instrument, don't need much else. Right, and I'm just going to go here, and for the sake of argument, let's just go up another octave and just do. I'm just going to copy the two, Control C, go down to 8, and just Control V, and it knows the length of it. Oh, I did that wrong. There's no undo, by the way. So I'm just going to do it to there. Right. Yeah. There's no undo, so you just have to sort of redo things. So let's do F3. And that third channel would be quite good for like a countdown. So if you wanted to mute the channel, it's Shift and 3 will toggle mute or muting or unmuting the channel. So you can imagine playing your game, and then you can then mute that channel, but you keep that particular channel or that voice for a countdown or something. So you can do like F3, run at a time. Right, and then something happens and you would kick into a new track and it'd be right, whatever, time is up, right? So you can imagine stuff like that. It will take a while to get patient with goattracker, like just do small bits at a time, just to get familiar with it, like 10 minutes, and then 20 minutes, then half an hour. Then you'll probably spend about an hour in it, and you'll be drained, and then you can then sort of feel a bit better. But it's a bit like going to the gym, right? You need to build up some muscle and patience with it. So yeah, that's kind of the long and short of it. So I'm just trying to think of other things that people might ask. So how do you go between these again? So you can click up here and you can do Shift Enter is the easiest way that I find, right? Because that's gave me 4, 5, 7, and then I can just start putting things in here. Right, and then F3 and F4. So now if I go back here, Shift and Enter, you can see I've not put anything in 2 and 3 yet. So these are patterns, right? This is your voices across the way, 1, 2, 3, and these are your patterns that get played in sequence, right? And your patterns are the things you fill up. So 1, 2, 3, I can do something in here. I'll go to a low 1, and that's a good D2 is a good kick sound. So what I'll do is I'll just highlight them, copy, paste, 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 paste. Should get a kick sound here. It's just kind of layered up the same instrument. This is all one instrument so far. So let's change instrument, and I'll do a snare or something, right? I'm not very good at making up instruments, but let's try. So we're in pattern 3 here, and we're in instrument 2, and we need to tell it where to start. So it has to start at 5 after this little table that's table for the first one here, right? Basically does that, hits the FF, it stops. That's the end of it, right? For that particular instrument. So snare is going to be, it starts at 0.5. I'll put in F and 5 in here just for something, and then I'll put in 8, 1, 4, 2. Doesn't really matter. This is just like the 4, 2 is just a good note above what note I'm pressing. You can do the fixed notes with drums, so that's anything above 90 something. So like a 9A. It means it's always going to be. Let's just show you what that is. It's always going to be the same note. Sounds like the noise from Impossible Mission when you get electrified. Right. So that needs to go off. So I'll insert. It just needs to be turned off. Otherwise, it will just keep bumming the release. Right, so it's a different sound now. I'm just going to copy those three, paste that there. It's a good idea to, when you're copying, let's move you out of the way. When you're copying, just make sure you copy like up to like 8, but include 7, right? Include the space. That way, when you copy, it's always gonna give you that same chunk and always land on the 8th one. So let's just try that with F3. And you can do shift and 1 and 2 just to hear that. And then F2. That wasn't a snare at all, was it? Ended up something else. But anyway, let's make it a snare then. Because I was just basically trying to show you that, yeah. The reason you can hear that is because this is 0. So if I do 9A, it stays the same note because anything above 90 is fixed notes. So if I change this to 9B now, it doesn't matter what you put in there. So that's good for things like sound effects or drums that you need to just be consistent. Now if I go to 7, going back to using the notes, right? So the cutoff point I think is 8F. Be lower than that, 80. Let's do 7F then. There you go. So it's anything 80 and above. But that doesn't sound too healthy. F I think does nothing. 8E. Yeah, no, see it's going down, so there must be a point where it just, okay, that's the lowest note is what it is, right? It is actually going down, but it's just really hard to hear it. So I'll do 8-1. Yeah. So 8-0 is basically like your lowest note. But it's fixed. It doesn't change no matter what note you put in. It's a bit like putting in 0-0 with your lowest note being played. Right, so I just did C1. Right, that's the lowest note. That's basically what 80 gives you, is that. Right, that's no different from 80. Right, exactly the same. Even if I put in a different note, like a really high note, see it'll come round. Right, so that basically says that's a fixed note. Now let's go to the other stuff. Let's get hi-hat. So let's go the other way now and talk about the note offsets. So if I just put in, again, I'll just put in like some C's here, right? Right, just constant notes, right? And let's say you wanted that arpeggio sound. So if I do a 7 and a C, it's too fast to hear it, so what you can do is do a couple of, I'll put a couple in there like that, 2-1, 2-0, 07, C, right? And then it's basically going from the note that you put here, adding 7 to it, right away without even hearing the original note. To hear the original, you just do 0, right? You could do something like that. Go even higher. Oops. Right, and that kind of leads you into like an arpeggio. So if you did 0, 0, 7, 0, C, 1, 8, right? And then if you loop back to 0, 5 from this FF, if you do keep it FF, but if you do 0, 5, it's going to loop back up to there, right? And it'll play that all the time. So let's listen to that. Right, it's not good to hear it all the time, so let me just get rid of a whole bunch. And let's just do one there. Right. Okay. The reason it was doing that is because the gate was that. So let's just. These should all be zeros. You only need the gate on once. I think. What's going on there? Sounds like a helicopter. There we go. It was just gonna be a bit nuts. Sometimes it does that. Or I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so it keeps looping back round. That's what it's doing, right? How is it you get it to? I'm just going to be on like. There we go. The gate needs to be on all the time. Right, and then you can do the sort of chord sort of arpeggios. Right, 3, 7, 3 is like a minor or a major, I forget. Oh, why is it not letting me? There we go. Let's go up. Right, so that would be, yeah, it's called snare still. It doesn't really matter the name, I've just got like anything. Right. I'll do a snare in a minute. Right, if you want that to sound a wee bit different, another annoying thing with goattracker is you can't just copy instruments to each other. At least I don't think you can. Copy pattern. Copy instrument, select instrument. So you can select the instrument, but you just can't copy it. Paste down. Okay. You can save an instrument and load it, if that helps. Yeah, maybe there is a way to do it, but I've not found it yet. So let's just go to 2. I'll call this my ARP 1. I don't know if it's major or minor because I don't really do music, but ARP1. But I can then save this instrument, I think, with if I'm on the instrument panel, the cursor's on it, and you press F11, and yeah, I'll just save that there. Then I can go to 3 and then do F10 and load. That's a song. Why is that a song? Because the cursor is not on here. F10, load that one. So we got 2 the same now, and I'll call this ARP2, and all I'm going to do is change the wavetable to 0F, and then I'll do my 2 1s, and I'll do 4 7 4, and my FF is going to call back to OF, right, up to there. Right, now that's a different. So that's your general ARPs. You can do like major 7 and all these other ones. It's basically like 4 7 5 7 5 9 7 9, like all these little offsets, and you can get loads of different sounds with them that way. The other way to do ARPs is the way that I quite like doing it this way. Let's call it long note, right? If I put in a note in here and it's a long note, let me just go down a bit more, and let's just say again 2 1 and FF. I don't need anything in there really, so I'll just call that to wavetable 14, and I'll put in E and 9. Right, that's a long note. I'll give it a bit of attack. Or something like that. Right, and now if I do my arpeggio as notes. Right, and if I play it, it's going to sound terrible, right? But what you do is, you remember that speed table here, which we use not only for, well, it's used for multiple things. We can use it for vibrato. It's basically a lookup table for various speeds, right? And what I can do is put in here a big number. I don't know, FFF, lots of Fs. And then if I put here 3, in fact, what am I talking about? You don't need anything in here, right? Necessarily. If you just put in 3, it's from the after the first note, it's going to try and bend to the next note, but keeping the note alive and not re-triggering it. So if I do, you don't need any speeds in it like that. But if you did want to control it, you could give it some value. Like if I put a very small value in here, then I'm looking that up. That's 02, so 302. Oops. 302. It'll probably not do very much because 8 isn't enough time. It's bending it like a very small amount per frame per tick, right? So if I do that like 28 or 38, it's like a sound effect. It's quite good for doing sound effects. Still not fast enough. Let's do F8. Now it goes all the way to this side. Because of the way we're using it, it will count as a really big value. So F, 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 F is the maximum. Wait a minute, that's not right. There we go. It uses 3 values, I think. So it's F, F, F. It's quite fast. Just want to check something. Yeah, interesting effects if you go. Sounds a bit like when you muck about with the sound effects things in Shoot 'em Up Construction Kit. And don't ask me what that's actually doing, apart from I know that it's just sending it way far out of range. I think that's something to do with that. Anyway, that's kind of it. There's one other little thing I'll show you with instruments. Just to keep it basic, I'll just call this test. Is that you can have, let's just go to table 16, let's just put in 2120FF, right? And we have table 16 and some attack and decay, 7 and B, right? Right, and what you can actually do is, instead of having the wave assigned here, if you don't, you can do basically have it's like a delay, I think it is, a delay of something, so 04 at C, and 04 at 7, and you actually see it would go very slowly through these. And let's do it at 2. Let's just remove that one, and let's do that. Right, and listen now. Needs a bit more to it so we can hear it. Let's just turn that one as well, or off, so we don't hear the waveform. Right, to make that really obvious, we'll do 8, 8, like that. I'll do all 8, and I'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, so you can really hear it. So that last note was, I don't need to do that and just go like that because I already set the wave. So that's the speed that it's that's how long it's holding these offsets. And in fact, when it comes to doing quiet, don't know how to make it go quiet. When it comes to doing like sound effects and stuff, sound effects are usually just instruments that just play a series of notes. They're not like music tracks, although you can do it that way. You can have a sound effect that's just a tiny little bit of a song, like do, you know, it's like what happens when you die or something, or you know, something more grandiose than just an instrument. So yeah, you can have sound effects built in here. So going back to snares and stuff, it's just really a mix of different notes together with noises together. Let's try one. Right, I'm dreading doing it, but let's try it. So we'll start at 1D, and the obvious one you're going to go for is the 8 one, and then some offset to it if you wanted. Right, I'll just do it like that just so you can hear what happens. It sounds like. Right, you have to give it something. Now you can press space in here and it will play it at the current octave's C note, I think it is. Right, let's put in a bit more. Right, that's not very snary right now, but it's very old school snary, mind you. But let's put in something like I don't know, 2 or 1, and then repeat to 1D, and then try that. More like it, and then let's make sure our wave's on. Right, change the octave. Getting somewhere, so now let's just try how that sounds. Right, you can put in maybe another one. Oh, that's 1, 5. Let's put in another note, so I'll do a 1, 1, but I'll offset it a bit, like that. That's not very good. Do that. What you maybe want is for the sound to go down the way as it plays. I'm just flooding this with, you don't have to do it this way. You can press spacebar and go into jam mode. Right, the way it doesn't place notes. So spacebar toggles that. And I'm thinking it should go right down the way. So I don't really know if you can just put in like F values in here. No, if it would make it decrease over time. It's doing something. it's just a matter of experimenting, being patient with it, or lose the rag with it. It's up to you. But it's really just a case of trying stuff. And I really don't like that there's no undo for something as basic as changing a value. That's really, because yeah, to get back to a sound that you liked. So yeah, that's really kind of as far as I go with snares. You can just load music as well and just see how they've done it. So to load a tune, just make sure you're in the track part and then press F10, and you can see this is where goattracker lives. So D, C64 stuff, goattracker, 3.7. Where is it now? Share? Nope. Library. G64? Nope. Let's try that again. Let's just try if some tracker. Well, there's some tunes here. Oh yeah, stuff added earlier, but I ain't gonna go there. Not finished anything. So old school this, it really needs an update. Okay, I'll just play one of mine. Don't know if I've got much in it. Let's just listen to. That's it. Right, okay. As I say, I don't really have anything finished. What's this Mac Gray one? Okay, and I never name my instruments either. Bit lazy like that. Oh, hi-hat snare. That's actually a good sounding snare. It's probably using filters as well, like the filter table. So that's what makes it sound better. And you'll notice if I'm in jam mode, it's got some flexibility to it. You can see that's wavetable 8. It's got noise, pulse, sine wave, noise again, nothing at all, like a break. Then it's kind of like doing nothings, back to a pulse wave, back to noise. It's quite intricate. There you go. So it's finished there. So it's quite a bit of a routine. It's also using filter table at 0.3. So C0 has a certain bandpass. F1 means it's affecting channel. Notice how it's different in different channels because it's designed for channel 1. That's what that one is. So trash in these ones, right? The thing with filters is they affect all channels, so you kind of have to be careful where you're putting the instruments and how you're setting these numbers, right? So it's a bit of a funny one. But yeah, filters are a bit more advanced. I don't want to get into them. Pulse tables, sort of, I don't really fully get it yet, but it does stuff as well. You can look up documentation and learn a bit more that way. Yeah, you can assign all your parts here. Let's just play this tune. I don't know what it actually is, so let's do F1. There's a bit of an advanced feature in here that I discovered later, is when you put a 7 here, it actually acts as a modulator, something to do with ring mod that affects the channel to the left of it, wraps round, so if you put it in here it would affect this channel, if you put it in here it affects that channel, sort of thing. So that's quite a cool little thing that I managed to find later, like I'm sort of learning that stuff. It's a bit more advanced, but that was really cool. I just want to play it again with the different SID, so you hear the difference. Yeah, I was going to break that down a bit more just to show you what's happening. So it's this 01. You can see is at wavetable 01. It's got the 1/7 in there. It's playing a few notes higher than it has to, but that's basically modulating this channel, right? So let me just turn off. So I'll do Shift F2. Let's do yeah. I think it's this one. It's just that, but with the 7 on it. It's not doing it because it's the only channel active, but as soon as I put channel 3 on, because it wraps round, that affects this channel. Or affect this channel to the left. I can't just turn it off either to get the effect. They both need to be on. The other thing you can do as well that plays is you can do a 100 or 200, like a 1 something something, right, and that will use the wavetable. I think 1's up and 2's down, so what I can actually do is put in 2's in here, and an amount is needed to come from the wavetable, so I'll use table 4 and I'll just do a very small amount, and I'll put in position 4 like that, and then I'll play with F3. Why does that not do anything? Should be going down, so maybe it's not fast enough. Let's try a bigger amount. Let's just F3 that. So let's just and then if you go back up the way, let's go to here and then just put in 1, so it'll go up the way again. So you get those really macro sounding funky weirdness. course, you could put vibrato on it as well as it bending down, I believe. So if I did vibrato pattern 05, okay, a little bit of delay, so 05 if I put in something crazy in here like a fast amount and a big amplitude. Vibrato, but what you can do is in between do 3 or what is that, 305, right? So I'm getting a bit of both. I can then make this go faster, so 208, right? So I copy them, 305, 208, right? So it's doing a bit of both, bit of vibrato, bit of going down the way, and then I'll put in here 108 to go up the way, 305, the vibrato. So it's all speed table lookup stuff. Let's see how that sounds. It's going to sound really wacky, so let's just that's really too much, so let's try down as well. Should we come back up? 105, 108, 208, 08, 08. What's 08 again? Oh yeah, it's using the wrong table value. 08. Right, let's just see how that. There we go. That's a bit better. More like. Right, let's see how that sounds with it. Back up again. Let's just try throwing ones in here. Let's just put this back to normal value just to see what's happening. So the initial note is too low, probably, or it's moving too fast. It was actually 204, wasn't it? That's what I've done. 04, 08. Remember, these aren't amounts; they're wavetable lookup values. So probably where I went wrong. Right. That's more like I was trying to achieve. Right. So it's more like that. Then you put in your 7 in here, and or your 4 or your 5. They all kind of work differently, and then. There you go, you can get some really funky Matt Gray, Rob Hubbard sounding craziness, the goattracker, by messing with all those numbers. And really, it's a journey to get that point, because once you kind of know it, then you kind of then have to figure out how your song's going to work. But a lot of goattracker is experimenting, especially making your own tunes. If you're making like a cover track, it's probably a bit nicer because you get something to go by, because you're just trying to make up your own thing. It's harder because you need to think about the composition and how things sort of sound. It's a lot of work. But just think of how hard it was for the legends like Matt Gray and Jerry Tell and Ryan O'Hand and all those guys to make great tunes that we love and respect. So yeah, that's as far as it goes with my goattracker tutorials. As you can see, they're quite long-winded and a bit annoying when you hear the same tune again and again. It's fine if it's just you, but everybody else listens to it. I don't know. If you like this, obviously thumbs it up. I'll maybe do another one if I get enough thumbs up and likes and comments and how do you do this and how do you do that. Hopefully this covers everything. If it doesn't, then I'll do my best again. As I say, I've been working on the C64 dev machine, and I've got goattracker sounds tracks working in that, as well as it will extract sound effects. It just takes each instrument as a sound effect. They're limited because they only use the wavetable and the attack and decay. They don't use any of the extra stuff, but you can basically, a sound effect can be a little short track as well, and you can do track choices with it. So I've been working on that for about 3 or so months now, and I'm going to jump straight back to it soon. So that's really it for the goattracker stuff for a while, I suppose. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.